They was outright Big East champs. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely wanted you to talk about the worst to first and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, it was again, like for Troy and I, and I'm sure you guys have probably talked to Troy, and I know Troy's giving the stories too. Like it wasn't easy for us that first year. As I mentioned before, we both came from the good programs. We both were winning. We were both stars. They were written up in newspapers and all that kind of good stuff in our hometowns. And you know, to come to BC, who they're, you know, Coach Skinner and his staff were only there for a few years and still kind of trying to get this thing right. And, you know, I think that, you know, Troy and I were two good gears to add to the team to get that going, but it wasn't going to happen overnight. So that first year was, it was pretty frustrating. I think I got there. I wasn't a starter right away. I had to earn it, which I was fine with, you know. And again, like everybody else, I knew played basketball far longer than me, although I started to excel pretty quickly in high school as well when I got to BC. Because after 3 games, Coach Skinner was like, yeah, you're starting. You're good to go. And I think that was a function of my work ethic, passion for the game, of course, and always trying to get better. And listen, Troy was obviously a beast and a monster, you know, a scoring machine kind of coming in, and he got the green light. You know, Coach Skinner gave me the yellow light. I was struggling, but he did allow us to play, right? And that's all you ask for when you come to a school. Like, you know, you don't ask for guarantees. Like, you know, one of the things I loved about BC, even prior to coming there, like the coaches were like, if you work hard, you'll get some playing time. And that's all I asked for. Like, you know, I don't want anything given to me. I want it because I deserve to be here and I deserve to be on the court. So I earned it through practice. Practice was grueling. Everyone was fighting for position to get more playing time, and I eventually got it, I think, after 3 games. But we didn't win many games. I think our first year we won, I think, maybe 3 or something like that in the Big East, something like that. But the thing about it what was great was that when we did lose, it was how we lost, though. Because we didn't lose like losers. Like, we lost and we put our head down. We just try to learn from those losses. And I think that carried over to the next year because the majority of the guys on the team in the 2001 season were back, right? I mean, we lost Mike Cotton, who's a great mentor of all of us my freshman year. Still talks to him to this day. And Dwayne Pena, you know, who was a walk-on to earn a scholarship, worked his butt off, and became a captain. I mean, those things, you know, helped Troy and I our freshman year. But I won't lie to you. And I talked about this at Troy's jersey time, and like, I remember Troy and I would look at each other. We lived together in Upper, and we'd be like, I was like, "Yeah, you leaving?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, you leaving?" We were asking if we were gonna transfer, and we both decided, nah, we're gonna be dedicated to this because we're in a place where we can showcase our skill, where we're getting playing time. So the playing time wasn't an issue. It was more so just trying to figure out how do we get over other teams. And I think that the trip we had that summer after our freshman season to Europe, we were playing in I think it was Switzerland and France, and we all got to gel together. Kenny Harley, Kenny Walls, John Beerbaum, Nick Dunn, you know, kind of these core group of guys from before Troy and I got there. We kind of figured it out, and we decided that we were gonna have like weekly meetings, no coaches whatsoever. And I think I instilled that to you guys, because you guys started doing that, you know, even after I left, and it just became something that really, like, we created rules for ourselves. We always became like the Detroit Pistons. We made like a no layup rule. Like, someone tried to come down the lane. Like, you remember Big East was tough. You know what I mean? Yeah, a bunch of big bruises back then, and we made rules for ourselves. You know, if guys were going to go out, for example, going off campus, you know, go to an off-campus party, you going anywhere, you're rolling together. Like, you're not going by yourself. You're rolling deep, right? To make sure, not only to protect each other, but to make sure no one gets out of line. If you're by yourself, you might, you know, and something jumps off, you have nobody to protect you. That's one thing. But if someone's out there and they're acting out on the team, then you want to make sure your brothers are there to tell you, hey, listen, let's chill out. Let's go back to the dorm. Let's chill. So we made those rules, and it worked, because that sophomore year, man, we were hungry. We were out for revenge, and it just clicked.
Yeah, and it's crazy just the way, like, you speak about these guys and the mystique. And I don't know if guys really understand impact that they truly had, because you mentioned guys like Harley and Pina and you know, and all those guys, and
Xavier Singletary too, another guy.
yeah, we never played with those guys, and like Kenny, we never played with them. But I feel like by the time we got there, like, you know, don't come out here soft, like you can't hardly do that, like, you know what I mean, like X wouldn't do that, like, you know, so
I still got bruises from Harley from, you know, scratching me in practice and stuff. He used to have the longest nails too. I remember that.
Yeah. And when I was a senior, you know, we were seniors in high school when you guys went to win the Big East, but it was more so how you did it. And you know, it's funny. I talked to Coach Skinner recently, and he says, like, I never talked to you guys about being tough. Like, I never wasn't, but through the things we put you through every day by having hard set rules, like, no, you can't catch the ball off the elbow or things like that. You better fight to get it at the elbow or you can't play. Yep. And, you know, just by instilling some of those things, it was like, you know, this is how it's going to be. We're not compromising for anything. And that, like you said, you guys started it, but it created this bad boy mystique around Boston College.
Yeah, man, I mean, if someone could find the videotapes of our practices, oh man, back in those days, like our freshman, sophomore year, I kid you not, I'm sure we'll probably say the exact same thing. Our practices were harder than any game. Harder than any game. Definitely that sophomore year. Our practices, man, with Ryan Sidney too, those were battles. Those were battles back in the day. So the game seemed easy to us. I'll be honest with you. When we were playing, because one, we had that mentality that we wanted revenge, and two, we were already beating each other up at practice. We were like, oh, ain't nothing for me to beat up Emeka Okafor. It ain't nothing.